everyone, my name is Teri.
And my name is Abhishek Singh.
Welcome back to yet another episode of Weekends with Us. So, we have watched the movie
तेरी बातों में उलझा जिया
copyright I made him do this. No shames.
Yeah, I learned it well.
Good job. Very surprisingly, we have watched this movie on the first day itself. We did not expect this from our own self, but good job to both of us. And we are shooting this review on the second day. And we will be talking about why you should be watching the movie. And more so because we like the movie, surprisingly. Did the trailer give away too much? Did the trailer not speak a lot about it? How is the movie faring? An unusual star cast and pairing as well. How did they fare? I think that is what we are going to talk about. The box office looks a little bleak, but it is still doing better than many Shahid Kapoor movies, at least the past one, Jersey. Yeah, we also see him dancing, so that was quite a refresher. I mean, seeing Shahid Kapoor dancing after long years.
And nothing well.
Dancing.
Liked it. Yeah. In fact, I think the box office was a little lukewarm, especially on the first day. The second day, it picked up a little.
Yeah.
The reviews are good. I mean, like if you see IMDb,
it's picking up.
If you see IMDb, if you see Rotten Tomatoes, they are like above 80% on both of the platforms.
Yeah, I think it is surprising the audience.
Yeah.
So, and it's surprising it in a very good way. I think the major reasons we are going to talk about why you should be watching and couple of critically
Some negatives which are there. I mean, it is not 100% accepted by all kind of audiences. There's a little bit of mixed reviews out there. Some people are finding it a little jarring at certain times, but overall we liked it. But yeah, let's talk about it.
And we're going to talk about our own perspective. For example, I like the movie to the extent like to love kind of a quotient, and he likes the movie with some
criticisms.
With certain criticisms also in place. So we are going to try to maintain that balance in our review as well. So moving on, I think we should quickly jump to the 5 reasons probably why you should be watching the movie.
Right.
Starting with, it's a Maddox Films. The production house doesn't really disappoint us, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, starting from movies like Cocktail, Love Aajkal, to movies like Mimi, the entire Stree or the entire supernatural universe. And now this movie.
Yeah, Bhediya also.
Bhediya, yes.
That is part of the universe, of course. Yeah, right.
Of course. I think this is a production house which has always surprised us. There has always been some sort of a comedy into it, except I think Mimi for that matter. But either it's a rom-com or it's a comedy horror kind of a genre is what they usually pick up. And here also they have executed it really well, I would say.
Right. I think the comedy was landing in most parts. I mean, I am one of those critiques of comedy in Bollywood movies. Sometimes I feel they don't really land. They are just done for cheap laugh. In this one, the comedy was landing mostly for me.
I think the next point would be about the star cast. The lead pairs, Shahid Kapoor and Kriti Sanon. I think Kriti Sanon has really been part of this Maddox Films universe also. She got her national award also for Mimi. She was also being part of Bhediya. Now we also see her here. I think she's doing a fabulous job. And sometimes I feel like, in this nepotism versus outside universe, whenever an outsider also comes and nails, we sometimes still do not stop criticizing someone. But I think we should give all the due credits to Kriti for shining even in this nepotist
Absolutely.
world.
I mean, in fact, I'll just add to this point where we're just speaking about this in Fighter movie. Like, we're talking about how Devika is like stereotyped as an eye candy, and she really needs to do something to elevate herself beyond it. Kriti is doing it. She started as an eye candy. Everybody thought she's just that. But she has been doing roles. I think she has the potential. It is just the matter of probably she not having enough connects in the industry to pull off those meaty roles and those big, scripts which she really needs. But she has the potential. Not just the look, but I think she has the acting chops as well.
Yeah, very true actually. And I like her personality also. In the movie, she is playing the role of an AI human. Or a robot. It's not an AI human, but it is made.
It's a robot.
It's made to look like it's an AI human as well. Ultimately, it's a robot, but I think she does the job of that cuteness or that clueless AI machine who
Right.
has no clue of how to program when it is not really meant to be programmed.
Exactly. Like basically, an AI at its core, it's like a child, right? I mean, there's a training program which you have to give a lot of inputs to. You have to feed in images, you have to feed in certain ifs and else conditions. You give them a lot of scenarios, and then it will start interpreting in a certain manner.
Yeah.
So I mean, essentially, she is like that. She's like a child who is being taught certain slangs by Shahid Kapoor during the movie. You know, कि सुट्टा मारना किसे कहते हैं, for example. Right. So
more like how native language में
Right.
या फिर colloquial language में कैसे हम लोग बात
बात
करते हैं
करते हैं.
and not
Right.
really
Yeah.
चुंबन or
Right.
exact शुद्ध Hindi how it is supposed to be.
Right.
But I think those are the words which are usually programmed.
Right.
And then you learn in due course of time. So I think that training model of an AI is shown well.
Shown
at
well.
least.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I think she captured that part good.
Yeah. Shahid Kapoor, I think I always have mixed reviews about Shahid Kapoor because of the way he's all chiseled and that slouch on the shoulder,
Right.
and he always has that what's up?
Exactly. Yeah. वो सिर्फ उड़ता पंजाब, I think. Probably.
But that slouch and that doing and all
Yeah.
that, I think beyond a point it gets a little irritating because
Right.
I think the one movie we always love him for is Jab We Met.
Absolutely.
So anywhere in this movie also, whenever we see that seriousness in the romance side also,
Right.
we really like him.
Yeah.
So he actually shows those glimpses of acting definitely. Of course, Shahid is Shahid.
Right.
But I think it's a hit and a miss at certain points.
Yeah.
But this couple or this pairing was
Yeah.
very unusual, but I
Yeah.
think they pulled it off really well.
Right.
And the chemistry looks good,
Yeah.
although it's a AI versus human or a AI plus human kind of a situation.
Yeah, if you watch the trailer, you know that there is some kind of romantic angle to it, right? So these two are like playing the romantic leads, and they are into that romantic situation, right? I mean,
We also have a lot of sorry. Yeah.
So I was saying that it would be very funny. Like at times, you just see glimpses of Kabir Singh, like just sprinkle there.
Really? Which one?
No, not like him doing something. It's just that his look, and when he's being grumpy because of a certain situation, it just looks a little bit. Kabir Singh is there. I'm like, what if he slaps this robot? Once in this movie.
I feel bad for him. He has been badly
Typecasted. Right. Yeah.
Okay. You also have actually other star cast as well, and it's a good star cast. Very unusual people who have long gone from the industry. We see their comebacks as well. So I think good.
For example, Dharmendra is there, right? He's playing the grandfather.
Yeah. So I've been reading articles about how he has, for the first time in eons of ages, have finally accepted that he's a Deol.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Dharmendra Singh Deol is his name, and that is for the first time being displayed on the screens as well.
He was in Rocky Rani now, and now he's here.
Yeah.
So good for him, like he's there. We have Dimple Kapadia, and she's there playing a good role, significant role in the movie.
Yeah, she is playing the role of the CEO of the robotics company, and Shahid is also one of the
Senior programmers.
developers, and for the first time we got to know in this movie one which is that I think if you are a great developer, you can also become the CEO.
Yeah, you have the potential to be the leader or the CEO of the company just because you're a good programmer.
So Chuck, all the
MBA.
MBA and CAT, ZAT examinations and the lakhs and crores of money that we also have spent, and a lot of the citizens of the country have spent. So
technical education, that is important.
You just have to be a
become
developer,
programmer and you will be a CEO. Not a CTO, okay? Not a CTO or a CIO. You will be the CEO.
See, no hard feelings. I have myself been a developer, but I always knew, or we have been programmed to know that a developer, you cannot be a CEO.
Unless
you have to
you
go
do
through
some field work, some business, experience.
You need to have that business sense into it.
If it comes to you naturally, good for you. I mean, that is nothing, no problem with that. But usually, people need some kind of business acumen to be the CEO. Anyway, I think just a little bit of nitpick. Also, we see people like Rakesh Bedi and Rajesh Kumar, right? I mean, like people who have been in comedy shows and since long time.
Rajesh Kumar has been in Sarabhai versus Sarabhai. Mr. Rakesh has been, I think, in Shriman, Shripati, this kind of movies long gone. Yes Boss kind of movies he has been part of.
Absolutely.
So lovely watching these people.
And Rajesh Kumar, we were just watching that interview, right, where he said he has retired he did retire for some time from the acting.
Yeah,
He
he
was-
went bankrupt.
Bankrupt. He
And,
was feeling that he was being typecasted, so he went for farming because he thought that was his calling. So he just watched this interview
few months
months back,
in
and good to-
November, December around.
So good to see him. Good people should get roles in movies, of course. So
Yeah. So we spoke about dance and all. I think we should also speak about songs
Yeah.
because this is a Bollywood kind of a movie.
right.
But I think songs are not really overused.
Yeah.
And it would be safe to say like we all are dancing on this Teri Baaton ne Aisa Uljha Jiya,
Yeah.
this song.
Yeah.
I think the remix genre is actually seeing its slow death probably. And it's a good thing that this came as a refresher because we were not really expecting another.
Right.
I think this was also because of this entire Yash Raj films which got released couple of months and they usually come up with their own originals.
Right.
So this came as a refresher and I think we were all humming and dancing to the tune of this music.
Absolutely.
One more song was there.
I know.
That was also one more song, but I think that's it.
Right,
Not really much overuse of it.
Absolutely.
So we like it.
Yeah.
Less songs, not
Yeah,
really
less
that.
songs. I think this much amount of songs in a movie like this is good, and don't have to overdo it at all.
I think we should definitely speak about our. I think the major point is the CGI or the cinematography
Yeah,
because this entire movie revolved around robots.
Right. Yeah, so I think CGI was good. Usually I find a lot of criticisms with the Indian movies.
Yeah.
But I think we both liked it. Right? The CGI
Yeah.
in the beginning, they show a lot of robots in a lab. That was done well.
Yeah.
Even certain nuances in Kriti Sanon's character, like certain there's charging happening. There's a charging.
The battery levels are
battery
being
levels
shown.
are being
yeah.
shown, right? And also, so those kind of certain things are not cringy, like Adi Purush or some other examples. I think done well.
Yeah, I think we will give 10 out of 10 points.
Yeah. CGI
Of
was
course,
nice.
there is room for some
Room for improvement. Yeah.
improvement. So okay, so 9 by 10.
Yeah.
And what is the next point?
Storyline.
Storyline. I think that the major point is the storyline. We know that whenever there is a human plus AI or a human versus AI oblique robot is shown, a logical thing for any director to show is the pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
And here also it is exactly the same way it is
Right.
also showcased. The pros of it is, of course, it's a model. It is meant to learn the human interactions as well. And of course, it was firstly introduced as a test case
Right.
by Dimple Kapadia, and without Shahid Kapoor knowing
Knowing
about
about
it
it.
also that it is a test model.
Right.
It was just meant to
Yeah.
interact with the human.
So let me ask you, how did you find the rom-com aspect of it? A human falling in love with a robot,
I think I liked it.
like it. Right?
I liked it because there were, nuances showed see, the emotion part of it is definitely meant to be missing.
Right.
But I think Dimple Kapadia, in the movie it was shown that Kriti is actually reciprocating to his feelings.
Right.
So it made us look that, of course, there is some sort of a reciprocation also
Right.
happening. But then Dimple Kapadia also explained the fact that it is seeing the emotions
On your face.
face, and that is how it is responding to whether I need to respond to an
Right.
I love you with an I love you too,
Yeah.
or whether you're asking for a kiss, so I should be initiating
Right.
the kiss, and all that kind of things.
Right.
So I will say I liked it.
Yeah, even I think I also liked it. This is a typical scenario, a fish out of water story. Like for example, a character is taken from some place and put into a certain complex situation. This robot was in its own world in a home where Shahid falls in love with that robot, and then that robot is brought into this world of humans and a family, the most complex scenario as per the movie.
As per the movie,
a machine can go through, and I think it's endearing, to just see a robot trying to be human. The only thing I found a little jarring, the romantic part I liked. I think the chemistry was there, the dialogues were good, and there was a bit of comedy, and I could believe that it could be an AI acting. Why couldn't they simply program one particular thing into the robot, which is to not say that I'm a robot ever? Why? Couldn't it be simple? We have seen this in some of the other movies in Hollywood where a robot is told. In fact, you know what? in US, you may people who might be in US, sometimes you get these robocalls, those automated machine calls.
Yeah.
And if you ask them, are you a robot? They'll say no, or they will laugh it off. I'm like, a simple fix to a problem which was there in the movie, they did not do it. I think the romantic aspect was good.
It also showed like the lack of common sense or the
Yeah.
humanness in a relationship which is
Right.
required.
Yeah.
Even in the form of the human touch,
Yes.
like the cousin brother or
Yeah.
like somebody, a relative was trying to touch after he gets
Yes.
to know that
She's a robot.
she's a robot.
Ah.
He tries getting closer to that
Yeah.
to Sifra, but
Right.
then I think she senses. I mean, the emotions are a little confusing as an audience
Yeah,
for
as
me.
an audience, yeah.
It shows the emotions, but is she even able to understand a
Right.
good touch and a bad touch?
Doesn't explain
That is not
part.
explained.
Then there is a part which we both liked was the climax. I'll not reveal what it is. It should be a surprise to you.
I will tell.
No,
Even
no.
if it doesn't tell, I will tell.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't. I mean, what is spoil. But then point is, that climax was well thought out. I did not think that they might go in that direction. Ki why does the robot turn and what will the robot do after it turns, right? So that part was a little clever. I mean, so I liked it. That part of it I really liked.
It means that there is a next movie coming.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. There is a next movie coming up, of course.
Yeah, I think see the entire purpose of having this AI human, I think it was talked about,
Right.
but I will say that Dimple Kapadia did not really stress upon the topic of
Yeah.
why a AI human is required. It only talked about how the feelings are getting hurt by Shahid because he has actually fallen in love with the AI human. But the fact that this is going to be a helping hand
Yeah.
or to a
Lot of
person
people.
in need, to at an old age or
Old
like
age.
something. of
Someone
that
who is
sort.
lonely,
Someone
could
who's
be a
lonely.
kid
Yeah.
who needs attention, right? A lot of use cases that could be there. So I think one thing that we were talking was that this movie is a little unique in Bollywood, not in Hollywood, but in Bollywood there are very few movies, right?
I think this is the
This is the
one
only-
movie who has kind of tried touching on
Yeah.
multiple points.
Exactly. I mean, you may have seen shows like Small Wonder or the copy of it, Karishma, but the only similarity was that there is a human or in that case, a child who is a robot, and only a selected few people know it's a robot, and everybody else has to deal with the quirkiness of that situation
Yeah.
because they don't know that it's a robot, right? So that is the only part which is like taken or inspired or whatever you want to say, but rest everything is like quite unique.
So I think overall we actually love the movie. We also see a cameo by Jan. So I think overall we actually love the movie.
Yep.
We also see a cameo by Janhvi Kapoor.
Right.
That makes us actually wonder if it is part of the entire
Universe.
supernatural universe or not. But then we also keep on thinking AI human is not a supernatural being.
Exactly.
But interesting to note, that Maddox Films has always produced movies like there is a human and there is a non-human element to it.
Right,
So
absolutely.
it would have been really good to see this also being part of the same mad universe.
I mean, they could have included it, right? It would be very, interesting because if you see, just talking about the old monsters like in the West, right? I mean, like when you think about the werewolves, the vampires, and then there is Frankenstein, which is like a monster which is kind of part technology, part dead corpse, right? I mean, like I'm saying it is possible to bring it in that universe, but probably not because Kriti has already played a role in Media. And Janhvi has already played a role in some other movie, right? So probably not, but it would have been really interesting to hope for. So,
Yeah. I think that brings us to the end of this review.
No,
or do
we're
we
not.
have something more?
No, we are not at the end of this review. So, I mean, if you have seen the movie Fast and Furious, I mean, all respect to Paul Walker. I mean, when he died, so there was an end, right? I mean, where Vin Diesel and Paul Walker's character, they're going at the end. They go to the point and then they separate. So this is where we separate. Like we have been liking the movie together, and I'm like, nay, I have some more problems with the movie. So
Let's get to the point.
two main problems I had. One is the plot was too simplistic. Okay, and whenever you see a movie about robots, about AI, there can be some more complexities to it. I mean, I'm not expecting a movie like Creator, for example. I'm not expecting that kind of complex questions about AI, ethics, morals. No. But then, if you have laid it out already, in the beginning, they show that a patient is lying down and a robot is told to inject something, and they're like, even though the prescription is changed, the robot is not able to capture that into its programming, right? So and it is still injecting the wrong medicine, for example. Later, when the Dadaji character, the Dharmendra, when he is not well, he tells Sifra, the robot, that take us to the hospital, and she takes it to take them to a animal hospital, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there was that laid out the problems of having a robot in a family or in these kind of situations where someone's life could be at stake, but they didn't really deep dive into it, right? I mean, it was all laid out in front of them, and even further, down the plot, let's say when the friend is confronting Shahid, you don't know what you're dealing with. So that the fact that what you don't know what you're dealing with could have been shown in more better detailed manner. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have detailed it very well, because right now it was very simple. Problem kya hui? It was a short circuit. I mean, that is the most simplistic form of problem that you could introduce in a movie about robot. Problem kya tha? Short. These days, every appliance, every mobile phone, anything you take, they have some kind of fail-safe there. I mean, if there is a short circuit, will my air conditioner fry? No. I mean, because there is a stabilizer there. So this state-of-the-art robot, which is probably millions of dollars worth and is the most advanced things ever, is just defeated by a short circuit in a Haveli. I mean, that was too simple for me. So I mean, I think that
what would you think, like, could be the possible causes for
so
that kind of a climax?
Exactly. So the whole problem statement that was that what if the AI goes bad?
Yeah.
Now, how does the AI go bad? They said that a short circuit happened and the circuit's fried. Now there could be better ways of dealing with it, because the one way a technology can go bad is by logic, because human brain is designed to deal with logic. In this case, for example, if there was two situation, for example, there was a movie I was watching, iRobot, back in the day. In that movie, the robot has to make a choice. There is a car which is drowning, and then there is the father and there is the child. The robot chooses to save the father despite father pleading for help, that please save my child, because the robot felt that father has a higher chance of success to be saved. That is a conundrum for a robot, right? It simply goes by logic.
Yeah.
The father ends up hating the robot in the end. Like here, let's say, because there was the problem, the grandfather was not well, for example, they could have introduced a situation where the AI was so confused about what is right, what is wrong. Do I have to, for example, I have to save Shahid or I have to save this other person? Something that fries the circuit. I'm just giving a very random
the
example.
Processing power goes over the top.
Exactly. Like for the old calculators, you do 1 divided by 0, gone, right? I mean, similarly, even the modern AI can be fried if you give something which is not computable, right? It throws an error.
Yeah.
So that kind of situation can be there. Again, I'm giving too complex a situation, but short circuit doesn't cut for me in today's day. I'm like, come on, this is like small wonder kind of writing which is there. So that is one problem I have.
See, he's a bit Spillani graduate, so that's why you would know why he's going too much into the technicality.
I mean, see, I think I understand. Sometimes the execs say that keep it simple, keep it simple for the audiences. That's why most of these writers do it. I'll have to probably read about it, but that's what I think happens in most of these scenarios. The second thing was the human element. The human element came very late. I think in the end they show that, okay, this robot probably has some real feelings.
Some sort of jealousy which
is there in the end. It came very, I'm like, I was waiting for it. I'm like, it's cliched. Maybe they are not going to go in that direction, so that would be unique. But then they showed it. So I'm like, if you were going in that direction, would have brought a little early, because the romantic angle, if you see in the movie, it ends very abruptly. Romance, short circuit, done, khatam. Like, there's no real end to that story arc. I know there is a second movie probably coming, I'm sure about it, but as a silo, this movie, I didn't feel satisfied by the end conclusion of that rom-com.
Yeah, I think for that, for this particular point, I have a little contrasting view. I think it was meant to show that an AI is an AI. It is not supposed to be human, and you are not supposed to also expect any reciprocation of feelings as well.
Right.
So that was the entirety of the movie also.
Right.
But towards the end, they also wanted to show that there is something else coming by or coming up, which is why they showed that Sifra is actually feeling some emotion, some jealousy while he is speaking with Janvi Kapoor.
Right.
I think that is the very reason why it is showing towards the very end.
Right. Also, you know, the whole aftermath of that situation which happened in the end with Short Circuit didn't show. Like what did the family feel about after finding out that she's a robot?
Yeah.
I mean, do they even know that a short circuit happened and that's what caused this whole problem? And if they found out, did they try again restoring the memory, which they anyway did in the middle of the movie, right? So it is possible to restore the memory that they show. Yeah.
But one thing is, of course, that from the family side, nothing was shown. I just feel it is because of the timing, I mean, the duration of the movie.
Yeah.
I think we recently learned from the Karan Johar that you have to keep your movie within less than 2 or 15 minutes or something of that sort.
Right.
So I feel like that is the reason probably why they chose to do that. But yeah, of course, a little bit could be shown, could have been shown.
Could have been shown because it was the whole point was building towards it. What if the family finds out and then they find out and no reaction at all, you know, from them. So I think just a little bit of problems which I had with the movie. It was very much towards being a good movie. Just a little bit of problems, you know, could have been fixed. But anyway, I mean, I think it's worth watching in theaters. Go watch it for the songs, for the acting, for the concept. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a refreshing take than the usual Bolly movies, and that brings us finally to the end of this review.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's a brilliant movie. You should watch it. Be mindful of the criticisms, but still go and watch the movie.
Right.
But I think brilliant points made by you. I would really give it give that. That's it. Like, share and subscribe. Guys, please do leave a comment. We are trying our level best to put in our knowledge, like a bits planning guy talking about what could be the possible probabilities of instead of it being a short circuit.
Yeah.
So if you like such content, please do subscribe to the channel.
Sure. Alright.